In 1984 at the Daytona International Speedway, Porsche's brand new 962 car qualified on pole with Mario Andretti at the wheel. Everyone considered them favorites to win the race. However, there was another car with three South African drivers almost nobody had heard of, racing for a team called Creepy Crawley, with a chassis that had been redesigned by a 23-year-old engineer with no budget, no wind tunnel, and no experience in endurance racing. And yet that team would go on to win by 9 laps. This is the story of the March 83G, and how it is the most important racing car you've probably never thought about. In 1969, Robin Hurd, an Oxford aerospace engineer, founded March Engineering. March cars were mainly customer cars, affordable, adaptable, and engineered to win without factory budgets. However, when IMSA published new rules for a prototype class called GTP in 1980, March saw an opportunity. They collaborated with BMW and built the BMW M1C, a prototype designed for the new GTP rules, built around a March aluminum monocoque chassis. It debuted at Riverside in April 1981. The bodywork featured 2 distinctive front pontoons meant to channel airflow underneath the car, which was an interesting concept but came at a cost considering that the car wasn't particularly pretty to look at. And while it earned some solid finishes in that inaugural GTP season, it was never quite fast enough to challenge for wins or titles. Unfortunately, BMW would later lose interest and shift focus to Formula One, and thus March was left standing in the garage with a half-developed prototype and a set of ideas they hadn't fully implemented yet. So for 1982, they tried again, this time with the March 82G, a proper aluminum honeycomb monocoque GTP car. It debuted at Daytona in January 1982 with Bobby Rail and Jim Truman at the wheel. The car would qualify on pole, but would retire early due to a broken gearbox. At Sebring, it finished second, this time with minimal issues, although despite the success, execution wasn't quite there yet. Fortunately, that was about to change. In 1982, a 23-year-old engineer named Adrian Newey joined March. His first job was as a design draftsman during the week and a race engineer on Formula 2 weekends. Toward the end of the year, Newey noticed the 82G sitting in a corner of the factory, looking rather unloved after performing poorly at Le Mans. He went to Robin Hurd and asked him if he could let him have a go at redesigning it. Hurd said yes, with a caveat: there was no budget, no wind tunnel time, and no factory support. Nonetheless, despite the setback, Newey produced the 83G. He reworked the aerodynamics by eye, stripping out weight and refining the underbody airflow management, creating what was essentially a new car wearing familiar features. The chassis was riveted aluminum honeycomb monocoque, stiff, light, and inherently rigid. Suspension was double wishbones front and rear with coil springs and anti-roll bars, conventional in layout but beautifully executed in geometry. Total weight was 900 kilograms. Newey's reworked underbody generated meaningful downforce without the complexity of active systems. The bodywork was smooth and purposeful, wide at the hips, tapered at the nose, with that inherited twin pontoon front end now refined into something that actually worked. Period observers consistently described it as one of the prettier GTP cars of the era. The car was then loaded onto a truck with the help of 2 mechanics and driven to Daytona for the 24 hours race in 1983, where on its first attempt would finish second. An unknown car from an unknown team, designed by a 23-year-old with no wind tunnel, had come within a whisker of beating the best endurance racing machinery in America. Following the success of Newey's prototype, March would build 5 March 83Gs, between them running Chevrolet V8s, Porsche flat 6 turbos, and Nissan 4-cylinder turbos. Power, depending on engine specification, ranged from 570 to 650 horsepower.
4 teams would use March 83Gs throughout the 1983 and 1984 seasons. Al Holbert, racing under Credit Syndicate sponsorship, started the 1983 season running a small block Chevy V8. Partway through the year, he switched to a new chassis fitted with a single-turbo Porsche 934 engine. Another team, named Red Lobster, ran Chevrolet power. The Creepy Crawly car was Porsche-powered, and Randy Lanya's Blue Thunder cars that would dominate the 1984 season were Chevrolet-powered as well. Each team chose its weapon, and all of them would experience various levels of success. Al Holbert won at the inaugural Grand Prix of Miami. During mid-season, after switching to the Porsche-engined version, he would win 4 more times and take the championship. The Creepy Crawly team arrived at Daytona in February 1984 as effective unknowns. Their lead driver, Sarel van der Merwe, had raced in South Africa and done a handful of IMSA rounds in 1983. In qualifying, they set the second fastest time, split only by Mario Andretti's factory Porsche 962, the new machine everyone expected to run away with the race. The race itself was a 24-hour attrition contest. The 962 led early, so did a Group 44 Jaguar. The March had its moment of drama. It ran out of fuel around the 1/3 mark, and van der Merwe had to jog a mile back to the pits carrying a 5-gallon fuel can. One by one, the faster-on-paper machinery fell away. The 962 had issues. The Jaguar developed problems. By 1:30 in the morning, the Creepy Crawly March was at the front and stayed there. The final margin of victory was 9 laps. Over a 24-hour race, 9 laps is not a close result. 9 laps is a statement, which shouldn't have been a surprise considering the car had been winning all year. But an all-privateer South African team in a 2-year-old customer chassis, beating Porsche's latest factory weapon at the most prestigious endurance racing in North America, that's the kind of result that makes you reconsider what the word privateer actually means. The last car, driven by Randy Lanya's Blue Thunder, won 6 races in 1984 and took the championship, a fact made retrospectively complicated by the discovery that Lanya's racing was financed through large-scale marijuana trafficking. But on the track, the results were real. The 83G and its successor, the 84G, continued to find homes with privateers who valued reliability and adaptability over outright pace against the factory Porsches. The platform evolved. The 85G followed, designed by Newey again, and it raced well into the decade. As for Adrian Newey, he moved from sports cars to IndyCar, joining True Sports in 1984, where he won the kart championship. He would then return to Formula One, where over the course of 30-plus years, he would design multiple championship-winning F1 cars for some of the best drivers the sport has ever produced. He became, by most accounts, the greatest aerodynamicist Formula One had ever seen. What many don't know is that his origin began with the March 83G, a car he redesigned by eye with no budget and drove to Daytona and nearly won on the first attempt.